TitleMatchNetwork.com.
I thought that it would have been good because I was hoping, at that time, Hogan was on fire. And to get Hogan to come over there, then it meant that everybody was going to make some money now. And my thing is, I just want to be on the card. Wherever Hogan is, let's put me on that card,
right.
So I can get a payday. So I think it was good for WCW. Well, I think basically back then, you know what I mean, the fans were just happy to have something. You know what I mean? I mean, you can see how huge that NWO was when that thing first come out. You know what I mean? That was brand new. That was something different, and that's what you got to have now. And we don't have that now. And I think when Hogan came over there, I think like you said, a lot of people rejected, and a lot of people went for it because Hogan had a big following. And I felt that they also felt that maybe now it'll change WCW around, especially when Nash and Hall and all of them started to come, well, people could see them coming from Vince, well, what's wrong here, So I think they went in the right direction, but they got greedy. Well, at the time when WCW Nitro was live, it was on and popping. It was out there, But once Vince got a grip and got a hold of what was being done to him, then he knew what to do. Vince was a businessman. He knows what to do, where other guys were so busy trying to put him out of business till he was thinking about how to stay in business. So, and he did a good job of that.
Were you upset around this period of time when the older members of the locker room, like you, weren't being pushed, and a lot of former WCW names were, I guess, instead getting more TV time than you, or were you just happy to be a part of the company?
In WCW?
In WCW.
Yeah, I was just happy to be part of the company because you got to understand this, you know what I mean? Everybody has their time. So if they're not pushing you, just thank God that they still got you there. You know what I mean? If you stay there, they're going to eventually find something. But if you don't stay there, then there's nothing for you. So the point is, whether they use you or not, you got a job. You're getting a paycheck. So, don't just concentrate based on a paycheck. You want to earn that paycheck too. So then that gives you some time to try to come up with some ideas for yourself or come up with something that you may go to the writers with and say, well, hey, how about this? Let's try this. So I think if you're able to stay there, even if you're not being pushed, and you're getting a check, then you got time to try to work on you some ideas. As long as they see you, they may come up with something. But if you ain't there, out of sight is out of mind. Well, they didn't have anything for me either. I went home after I left WCW, and I stayed home for maybe a year, and they would continue paying me. I was under contract to them, so I was continuing getting paid. So I called Jim Ross. Me and Jim Ross had been friends for a while. And I told him about what was happening with me down in WCW and, see if he could get me a job. So I called Jim, and Jim called me back and told me that they needed a referee. And he was going to bring me into WWF at that time as to be a referee. So I knew what was happening, so I was just lucky enough to get with Jim Ross and, and got a job.
Did Jim change at all from his time in WCW, or is he the same Jim Ross to you?
No, same Jim Ross. Yeah.
What was your very first meeting with Vince like? How did that go?
Well, I never did have a meeting with Vince. When I first went to work there as referee, I saw him one time and introduced myself, and he introduced himself to me, and that was it. The only time I had a meeting with Vince is I went home after the mistake with Christian and Tajiri in Hawaii.
Right.
They blamed that on me and said I fast counted. No, I didn't fast count. I said I counted him out. Well, he's like I told you in the beginning. He said he was knocked out. He couldn't even kick out, so I can't stop the count. But anyway, make a long story short, Jim was Jim.
TitleMatchNetwork.com.